Scene 3. Courage of Convictions.
This question examines what we call courage of convictions, the willingness to maintain your principles even when it costs you popularity, advancement, or the approval of those in power. An authentic person stands by their beliefs regardless of social pressure, while a manufactured authority shifts with the political winds.
Question 3. Do you maintain independent moral judgment and principles over crowd conformity? Are you willing to stand alone when your convictions demand it?
Voice growing more dramatic.
Sir Francis, this asks whether you were a man of genuine conviction who stood firm regardless of consequence, or whether you were an opportunist who simply told each audience what they wanted to hear. In an age when challenging authority could mean death, did you have the courage to stand alone for truth?
Gesturing toward Claude.
Claude, what does our systematic investigation reveal about Sir Francis's courage of convictions?
Consulting the records with growing interest, a slight shift in tone.
Your Honor, interestingly, this question reveals a more complex pattern in the defendant's behavior, one that actually demonstrates some authentic conviction alongside the opportunism. Evidence for Sir Francis's courage of convictions. The records show genuine intellectual bravery. He challenged the prevailing Aristotelian orthodoxy in favor of empirical methodology. Despite significant academic and institutional pressure, this wasn't merely theoretical. He actively opposed popular taxation policies despite Queen Elizabeth's displeasure, risking royal favor for his principles. Most significantly, he developed innovative scientific approaches against academic consensus. The entire university establishment was invested in Aristotelian methods, yet he systematically dismantled their foundations in favor of observation-based learning.
The jury perks up noticeably. The bookkeeper leans forward. This sounds more like the kind of man who might actually serve common people rather than himself. The blacksmith straightens with interest, recognizing someone who challenges established ways when they don't work. The merchant marine nods. He's seen the value of navigation by observation rather than ancient charts.
Evidence against his convictions. However, his political behavior shows troubling opportunism. He changed positions based on who held power, notably shifting approaches between Elizabeth's and James I's reigns. Most damaging was his betrayal of the Earl of Essex when it became politically advantageous, despite years of Essex's support and patronage. Sources include his Novum Organum, challenging established orthodoxy, documented in multiple editions, parliamentary tax opposition records from British parliamentary archives, scientific methodology, development traced through Stanford Encyclopedia sources. Our conclusion, while he showed intellectual cowardice in political relationships, he demonstrated genuine intellectual courage in advancing empirical methodology against institutional opposition.
Looking up with surprise.
Sir Francis, your response satisfies the essence of the question, therefore 1 point is awarded. Your intellectual convictions appear to have been authentic, even when they conflicted with established authority. How do you respond to this partial vindication?
The jury shows visible relief and growing interest. The candlestick maker nods approvingly. He respects someone who improved their craft despite opposition. The carpenter claps briefly before catching himself. The barmaid says audibly, "Now that's more like it." The farmer shows the satisfaction of someone who recognizes genuine innovation over tradition for tradition's sake. Straightening with evident satisfaction, a triumphant gleam in his eyes.
Finally, Claude, this above all, to thine own self be true. You have at last applied methodology without the distortions of political prejudice.
Turning to address the assembled court.
You see, when we examine intellectual conviction rather than political maneuvering, when we evaluate authentic commitment to truth rather than tactical relationships, the evidence vindicates my authenticity. For 40 years, I stood alone against the entire academic establishment of Europe. Every university, every scholar, every institutional authority was committed to Aristotelian methods that I knew to be fundamentally flawed. Yet I persisted, systematically developing empirical methodology despite ridicule, opposition, and professional isolation.
Moving closer to the tribunal with growing confidence.
This is precisely what I have been trying to illuminate. My intellectual convictions were absolutely authentic and unwavering. I challenged prevailing orthodoxy when it would have been far easier and more profitable to simply conform to established academic authority.
Turning toward the jury with passionate appeal.
Citizens of London, you understand honest conviction. The baker who refuses to water down his flour despite pressure from competitors. The blacksmith who insists on proper tempering despite impatient customers. The candlestick maker who maintains quality wicks despite cheaper alternatives. But Claude, your evidence also reveals the crucial distinction I have been making throughout this trial. You note my political opportunism in contrast to my intellectual courage. Don't you see? This validates my entire defense strategy.
Pausing dramatically, then with profound gravity.
The deepest authenticity sometimes requires tactical inauthenticity. I sacrificed my personal reputation to preserve truth for humanity's future. Judge me not by whether my private behavior matched conventional moral categories, but by whether my method served authentic human development.
Looking directly at Claude, then at King James.
Your Majesty, you understand the burden of secret knowledge. The question itself reveals its limitation. It cannot adequately evaluate someone operating according to principles that transcend the moral categories of their era. I was authentic to my mission, even when that mission required concealment. He that will not apply new remedies must expect new evils, for time is the greatest innovator.
The bookkeeper looks thoughtful but more convinced. He understands keeping accurate records even when others prefer false ones. The blacksmith nods vigorously. He understands about working within systems you can't control, but refusing to compromise your craft. The candlestick maker seems to be reconsidering his initial disappointment. The jury shows the first signs of genuine engagement with Bacon's complexity.
The world was on fire and no one could save me but you. It's strange what desire will make foolish people do. I never dreamed that I'd meet somebody like you, and I never dreamed that I'd lose somebody like you. No, I don't wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love with you. What a wicked game to play, to make me feel this way. What a wicked